Hello, everyone. This is a podcast. This is also a no thank you. Who are you, and what are you doing on my show?
Hi, that's me. I'm a guy. I do things, run around doing things all the time, making music mostly. Link in the description to my latest album. Yeah, I also have a YouTube channel, which I sometimes make vlogs on. And now I'm on some guy called Infinite Anti-Semitism's channel. I don't know who this guy is, but there we go.
Yeah, the greatest vlogger on YouTube with hit classics such as Response to the Response to Weiji is it a KG. That one's my favorite. I don't think it can be topped.
I quite like Why You Don't Need Sex.
Oh, we don't talk about that here.
I mean, you are infinite celibacy, right?
Yes, this is absolutely Elliot Rodger. You know, much like Adolf Hitler, I consider him my Nakama. He is everything I want to be in the world, and my supporting big brother. Don't talk bad about Elliot Sama in my room. Thank you.
Oh no. How did we get here so quickly? It's been 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you start mentioning the Jews around me, it's like I've had 20 beers already. I'm just ready to say everything.
Oh God.
Like the mere existence of a Jew is a drunken state inducing element of this world to me. Like, just knowing, like, you see their noses, you see the weird misshapen nose that they
hold
have.
on, I'm not sure if I want to be. Hey. Let's just back away from the Jew discussion for a little while here.
Oh dear.
Let's just take a step back before this gets out of hand, okay?
Yeah, I'm putting down the barrel of Zyklon B as we speak. It's on the floor.
Oh no. Oh no. What have I signed up for?
Oh boy. You said it.
I was just a regular boy until one day some strange man invited me on his podcast and corrupted me with strange ideals.
Is this what they call rape?
Is this the LGBT agenda?
Yes, that's what we're trying to keep. That's what we're trying to keep away from Western civilization, which is why I have to bring No Thank You onto this show so I can violently rail against him for his blue-pilled LGBTQ, SJW, transgender, and cuck-like opinions on Bakemonogatari.
So much for the tolerant left.
There's a laugh track playing in the background. He did the thing where he takes the drums and he goes ching, and then it's like it does you hit the. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Although your drums sounded a little more like a cash register to me than a drums. Ching.
Isn't that just all comedy under the capitalist system, man? Come on.
Oh God.
Listen, I've read The Invisible Committee. I know what I'm talking about.
Invisible Children? You mean Coney 2012?
Yes, I agree. But yeah, Bakemonogatari. So you had presented me your argument about this while we were in a Discord call in my formerly public server, where you made some quite grand statements about my ability to read in this debate. And I want to bring forth this in podcast form because I feel like it represents a lot of my biggest differences with other quote-unquote critics or just viewers of shows, where you're coming at this from a postmodern angle, as you said. So I want you to kind of just walk me through what is your view of postmodernism as it pertains to Bakemonogatari. What is Bakemonogatari, and why am I wrong about it?
Well, I need you to understand why you're wrong. I need you to actually explain your opinions, because so far, all I know, literally the only criticism you've given of the show is that there's too much words. That's all you've said. Too much words. It's too much dialogue. Show don't tell is the only way to make film, which is just objectively incorrect. So
yes, the only way. But okay, So in the beginning of Bakemonogatari, when the show starts out, they have that famous scene of the school, and then Adaraki's like looking up girls'
Hold on.
skirts or
Yeah,
whatever.
just this is why I believe that you can't read. What did you just call him?
Adaragi, however you say his name.
Adaraki. You know what? I'm just leaving that up to the audience. There you go. The audience just can see that, and they can just have that. There you go.
Yeah.
Adaraki. So Adaraki is,
he's being his perverted teenage self, escaping into his isekai fantasy, but he's walking up the steps, and like the first thing you see about Monogatari cinematography is that it looks really weird. There's these CGI backgrounds in a hand-drawn kind of world. There's all these weird colors going on and stuff, these strange gradients. It's off-putting. But my problem with the show is that more is being told in the dialogue than is being shown in the backgrounds. I think Shinbo can be a very effective director when you give him something like Petite Cosette, because within Petite Cosette, each shot is saying something new. There's always a story being crafted throughout the story, and as a result of that, they don't talk a whole bunch. They talk when it's needed, of course, but they don't. The most of the story is being told through the visuals. And what frustrates me about Bakemonogatari is you have a show with these amazing looking visuals that have lots of effort and style put into them, but when I actually watch the show and I read what they're saying and I comprehend the story, the world around them, the way that it's framed, isn't doing anything to add to the overall narrative. You're not learning anything about the themes from the way that the directing is done.
hard disagree.
Just makes... Okay, the only thing it's conveying is that the world around it is weird, and these characters' conversations are weird, much like the world around them. It's just in aesthetic.
Not just are they weird, they're subjective, because it's the entirety of Monogatari revolves around two things. Well, they're kind of the same thing. It plays a lot on the idea of a narrator. You can even hear this in the audio mixing, that sometimes the audio mixing will do like a weird thing where it sounds like it's coming from all around you or really up close. It's playing with the idea of a narrator in a story sense, because sometimes the characters know they're in an anime, which is a funny meme, funny little postmodern fourth wall breaking meme. Sometimes it comes across as a little forced, but they don't overuse it too much. There's a good scene in Bakemonogatari where Senjo Gahara is like saying she's going to fill in for Araragi if he doesn't come to class or something, and Araragi's like, but the teacher will clearly know that it's not me because it's you doing it, and she's like, don't worry, my voice actress is really good, which I thought was a good joke.
Yeah.
But then it also plays with the ideas of the narrator within the story. The best example of this is that first shot that you were talking about in the beginning of Bakemonogatari. And we know this because of the audio CDs, or the audio commentary that's done by the voice actresses and the director and stuff. So those stairs that you see in the beginning of the show, they're not actually that big. If you look at the architecture of the show, it's all insane. And those stairs are like fucking massive spiral staircase that could never exist in a school. But because the story's told from Araragi's perspective, the stairs seem big to him because he's running late for class and he has to run up these stairs, and so in the story it's like a massive staircase. In reality it's just a normal staircase. This is why the directing and everything in the backgrounds play into the story, because everything about the show is like this. It all becomes like a hyper-real, subjective way of telling the story. It's the same thing as why there are no background characters, really, because if you were telling a story to someone, you probably wouldn't mention all these random people that you just see on the street. You just mention what's actually happening. Nisi Owasine is very good about doing this. Like, he's very smart about thinking this sort of thing through, because then, like, it's not like he just left it out, because if you look at the Kaiki arc way later on in the show, Kaiki does mention the crowds of people, and there are actually crowds of people.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying that there isn't anything going on with the visuals. At times, it is.
I thought you said it was a. I thought. Hold on. You said it was like a 2, right? Was that
Yes.
what you said? You said it was one of the worst shows you'd ever seen.
Yeah, because I don't enjoy it. But yeah.
Have you considered?
Okay, go ahead.
Being able to read. Being able to read may be important.
Well, okay, let me posit this, because I understand that it's not just completely vapid, but like most of the show are just them talking about, these very long monologues that aren't really saying very much. They're just kind of going into a bunch of ideas but never really exploring them. Like, it's a lot of just words.
Whoa. That is very much not true. They definitely do long dialogues, not monologues.
But it doesn't feel good in the context of the show. Like, when you're watching it, you're just like, can they stop talking about this for so long and just get to the next thing? Can they do it in a more potent, emotionally potent way? Like, one of my favorite parts of the show is the episode where Senjo Gahara has to confront with, the demons of her family, that, like, they're in that basement place and, she almost dies because she has to confront that inner demon. And it was really interesting because it expressed something about her character and her backstory. The framing of the shot was really good. The conversations that they were having felt like they were progressing the story in some way. But a lot of it just doesn't feel like that. Like, a lot of it just feels uncanny and, not the way that you should write a show. Because when you're watching it, it's too much information. They're not giving you the right amount. It's just too much. They're overstimulating you with so many things to read at once, and it just doesn't feel like a TV show.
It doesn't feel like a TV show, which is why I like it, because it's incredibly dense, and you have to actually think about what you're watching. It forces you to think about it, and not just in a textual way, but in a meta-textual way as well, and also in like reading in between the lines and stuff. Like a lot of the conversations that you may think are pointless, I definitely don't think there's a single pointless conversation. Yes, they're long and drawn out, but that is just the way that the characters talk in this world. And once you get to know the show and get to know the characters better, they actually all have different ways of, not only different ways of talking per character, but also each character has a different relationship with the other characters, and their manner of speaking changes. Like, for example, Araragi would never make a lewd joke to Senjo Gahara at the beginning of the series before they're dating or whatever. Like, maybe later he might, but very rarely would he make a lewd joke to Senjo Gahara. But when him and Kambaru are speaking, it's constant lewd jokes back and forth, because that's how they banter. A lot of what's so great about the Monogatari dialogue, in my opinion, is it just does banter so much better than any other show. There's a lot of irony there that you may not get on. Like, if you take everything literally, it's just going to seem like long, winding conversations. But most of it isn't meant to be taken literally. Even in the context of the world, the characters aren't even speaking to each other literally. They're speaking to each other through this very ironic lens, because that's how people talk to each other in real life. People don't just always say what they're thinking, which makes it difficult to follow the story sometimes.
Wait
just
a minute.
Because it's so dense with this.
Why would I want to watch a few guys and girls in this show sitting down together and having a conversation that was like reality? Why would I want to do that?
But it's clearly not like reality.
Well,
okay, firstly...
Okay, it's more
Hold on,
fantastical.
what are you talking about? I know the sort of YouTubers you watch. You literally would love to watch that.
Well, no. That's because the medium in that sense is the message. What message is the medium of anime conveying that this show... I don't know, man. It just...
I can 100% tell you a billion times when Monogatari does stuff that could only be done in anime.
Well,
even the editing style and the shot, the cinematography style can only be done in anime. There's a scene in one of the later series which is very funny, where two characters are having a massive fight where they're literally being punched through walls and buildings and like flying around, but they're still just talking, like having one of those normal Monogatari conversations, which is obviously like a piss take at shonen series where the characters will be having a fight and just talking the entire way through. Like, it's entirely full of not even deconstruction, but just like a funny take on anime tropes. Like even in the first episode where Senjo Gahara calls herself a tsundere, and then which is funny because, or it's not even funny, but it's funny, but it's also clever because Senjo Gahara calls herself a tsundere when she's not a tsundere. She's actually like she's not that one-dimensional character that the tsundere archetype is. She's actually like got a deep traumatic backstory, and her character makes sense for like she's not just one dimensional. She's like once she starts dating Araragi, she's no longer like you actually see that she cares for him, and she gets jealous, yeah, but that's because of her character, because of her upbringing. Like she's not just a typical tsundere, which is why it's clever that she calls attention to this fact. All that sort of stuff couldn't be done if it wasn't a light novel, couldn't have been done if it wasn't an anime as well.
Oh, okay, so this is why books are better than anime. Okay.
I didn't say anime is better than books.
What? Okay. No, now I see the central problem. I would enjoy Monogatari if it was a book.
Because... It is a series of books. It is.
Well, then I should just read the books and then give the anime a high score as a result of me liking the books.
Well, that's completely fine. However, you better have a very advanced understanding of kanji, because this is Nishio we're talking about.
Well, okay, that's why I would read the translated version.
But then you may miss out on a lot of stuff. Because Nishio loves kanji puns. He's like half of the jokes in the series, I had to look up what the kanjis meant, because it's all like puns where one kanji is said a certain way but means something different. Like, I don't know, like how, I don't know much Japanese. How hana can mean flower or nose depending on which kanji you use. That sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean...
That the entirety of Monogatari is based around those sorts of puns. Even the fucking name, Bakemonogatari, is like a pun.
I mean, like, how can the show be that enjoyable to me as a Westerner, then, if I have to look into all of these, like, I have to understand all these different kanji and understand how that would make a pun. Like, you have to read a guide just to watch the show. Like, a lot of people, they talk about, they didn't even understand, Bakemonogatari after, like, until the third or fourth rewatch. They had to rewatch it a bunch of times while, watching, say, like, Digi's videos on them or something. So, I don't know. I don't understand what enjoyment I'm supposed to get from a show that I can't like in the first few episodes. If the show...
What do you mean you can't? That's the opposite of the experience I had. When I find something difficult, I don't just go, this is too difficult for me. I'm going to pussy out and run away because it requires me to think. My immediate reaction is, oh shit, this is quite a difficult watch. This requires my full concentration and perhaps even for me to have knowledge of things beyond the text. That means it's probably got some sort of value and is actually clever instead of just... I mean, if you want something that you can just instantly understand everything, just watch fucking Avengers movies or something.
Whoa. That's not what I said. I said, okay, I didn't say, like, there's lots of media that's deeper while not being super hard to get into. Like, it's not like you shouldn't have to think about the media you're consuming, but if your media is untranslated to the extent of you having to look up kanji, and, look up...
You don't have to.
I mean, yeah, but I wouldn't be able to... I'm obviously not able to enjoy the show now, so, like, if I look up those things, then wouldn't I have a better understanding of the show enough to enjoy it more?
Well, I only looked up kanji once while watching the show, and that was in one of the much later seasons. By that time, I was already very invested in the characters. But for the first season, there's not really that much that you really... I mean, I didn't know any kanji when I watched the first season. I still got full enjoyment out of it.
Okay, a counterpoint. So there's this scene in the first episode at timestamp 6:33 in which Shinjo Gahara tells Adaraki, boys always like girls that are physically ill. This personally, this offends me. As someone who fights for the rights of all genders, for the equality and destroying of stereotypes among these issues. And watching this anime, frankly, it makes me physically ill to see that such stereotypes would be perpetuated within a medium that's meant to be accepting to all different types of weirdos, freaks, and whatever it is Digi says. So I don't respect this.
Give me the timestamp. Give me the timestamp.
6:33. I do not respect this because this is
Did you
ableist.
just say this is okay? Hold on. Firstly, that's not Senjo Gahara.
Well, I don't know any of the characters in this show. I'm making this up as I go on.
Oh my god. Oh, this is
This. Oh my god, this is like the Chomsky-Foucault debate, but 10 times more big brain.
By the way, you said Chomsky won that debate, right?
Yes.
I thought Foucault fucking bodied Chomsky.
Oh no, I completely disagree because Foucault, like when I watched the debate, now I watched it quite some time ago, but I remember when I watched it, like it felt a lot more like Chomsky was bringing practical solutions. He was trying to understand what you're supposed to do, like because Foucault, he kept wanting to ask why. Like his big thing was, why are things?
I don't
the way
think
that
that's
they
what
are?
Foucault was saying.
And then, Chomsky wanted to take more of a practical standpoint of, well, how do you do it? How is it? Then what do you do after you understand the why?
No, I think that Foucault's criticism was that there's a good chance that you're doing something and you don't have all the information. Like the reason Foucault's so interested in the why is because he was saying to Chomsky that people, if you look at history, people have often done things that almost never does someone do something because they think it's wrong. It's almost always the case that people do things because they believe it's the right thing to do. And how can you be 100% sure that your actions, that your direct actions that you're so desperate about taking are actually leading to what you want to happen, or even what you want to happen being a good thing in the long run? To assume such a thing comes from a place of, well, from Foucault's understanding, as I see it, he would think that to assume something like that, to assume that you have the right to tell your direct action. I mean, direct action against the Vietnam War was something that was brought up, and I mean, Foucault wasn't really against that, but he wasn't really talking about that either. He was talking more about, like, how do I put it? How do you know that what you're doing is? It doesn't matter if you're doing lots of stuff if what you're doing is pushing everything in the wrong direction.
I mean, like, I'm not necessarily saying that Foucault was wrong in his conclusions. I'm just saying I think Chomsky won the debate. Although we can have a separate debate about that, about what defines a good point or not, if you want to.
Oh, no.
But, no, like, I'm not even saying I fully agree with Chomsky, because there's a lot of stuff. Like, I think he's one of these, like, incel conspiracy types where they try...
Hold on, I just watched the fucking clip from Bakemonogatari. I can't believe you. I can't believe you taking things out of context this part. The literal next line, oh my god. The next line after boys like girls that are physically ill is how disgusting from the girl.
I mean, like, okay, listen. My job here is to create an image. It's not necessarily to be right. If we all won debates through who was correct, then, how would debates even be a thing? Sometimes when you're doing a math problem, your logic just has to line up to get that answer. That's what I'm doing right now. You don't even understand.
I don't want this to happen. I don't want this to be the case.
but like, yeah, like.
Why are you putting me through something like this?
Listen. You're my token British person to record podcasts with.
For some reason, I thought you were gonna say you're my tokusatsu.
Yes, I had like a couple different British people I could record podcasts with. One of them is still around. Well, actually, two of them technically, although one of them I don't think is going to. I had like these random British folks that I would record podcasts with. And I haven't had one for so long. And so the real point of this podcast is not that Bakemonogatari is bad. It's that I have to turn absolutely every single element of my life into some form of content if there's a British person involved.
Okay, you know what I'm gonna do right now?
Yes.
I'm gonna get my phone out and I'm gonna send you this clip just so that you can see it. and then I'm going to break down, shot by shot, why the cinematography in Bakemonogatari is good. Episode by episode, second by second, frame by frame.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm not going to do that. That would be way too much effort. But I will explain to you that it is good and clever, and you're an idiot.
Wow. Okay.
That's my argument.
I agree. Wow. We settled this just by agreeing. Okay.
Wow, that worked well. We agreed that you were wrong and that I'm right, just like always.
We were going to have the Evangelion debate.
But you haven't even watched it.
No, I've seen the first episode, man. You don't even know.
You've seen the first episode is not the same as having watched the entire show. It's basically a different show by the end.
Oh man, that's what you fucking postmodernists say. It's always, what is it?
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
You've got to stop. You've got to stop, Outlaw.
Right.
You're killing me. You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Yeah, it's, I actually think if I watched Bakemonogatari and gave it a fair shake that I would like it. I've just been...
It does have a very dense... Like, the dialogue is incredibly dense. It's probably the most dense dialogue I've ever seen in any... Maybe not any... I think there's some books that have more dense, but the thing about books is it's very easy to go back and reread a paragraph if you didn't get it. Whereas anime is a little more difficult.
Yeah, I have to reread through most anime that I watch, and I hate it. It makes watching anime very hard for me.
Yeah, well, that's something that you may have to do with Monogatari. It's definitely like I had to. It takes a little bit of sitting on things and thinking things through to get everything, like why certain characters may have acted in certain ways, but it's still good. In fact, I think that makes it better. You shouldn't be able to instantly understand. Well, maybe not shouldn't, but it's nice to have something that you don't just instantly understand everything. Like, it's nice to have something that forces you to think if you want to actually get the most out of it.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a good way to get exposure to different types of ideas, different types of ways to think about things. And I want to actually do that more. I kind of just wanted to treat this podcast as like the pro wrestling championship that would end the kayfabe that I had about hating Bakemonogatari, because I want to watch it. Like, I want to actually give it a fair shake and try to understand the ideas within it, because I think it would help my videos to be able to watch more and more stuff that isn't necessarily aligning with my taste. So I will do it.
Do you know what we should do?
Oh boy. What
we should do? You know how Digi does those like weekly watch-along podcasts with Nate?
Yeah.
What if we did that with with the entire Monogatari series?
Oh dear.
Maybe not the entire thing, just with like a little bit. That way it would force you to watch it, because I know you. You're like, I'll watch it, and then you never get around to anything.
Yeah. I get too wrapped up with getting into drama on my public Discord server that I made public for some reason. I'm too busy, sitting around and doing the illicit substance. There's
the single one, the only one that exists.
Yeah, the only one that exists, the only one that matters. Let's be real here.
This is not true.
This is entirely.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Joe Rogan podcast. So, have you ever tried DMT?
Elon Musk, have not.
Oh, hey Elon, how's it going up there in your hyper-racism spaceship?
Well, when I was 4 years old, I thought I was insane. That's the only clip from that podcast I remember.
How's it going, Alex Jones? What's up?
I hate niggers.
Oh my god. You're ruining my fucking public persona. Everyone's gonna think I'm racist now, just because I appeared on the podcast with notorious racist infinite anti-Semitism.
Yeah, infinite
white identitarianism.
Oh god, I started out making incel videos, and then I got led into the alt-right pipeline. Oh! This is what watching Yukon/Thinkton Patreon videos all day have done to me.
You've not even patroned me ever in my life.
That's a lie. That's a postmodernist lie.
What does that mean?
It means you're subjectively interpreting my objective experience.
Objectivity doesn't fucking exist.
I
And it's now been proven by science.
I disagree. I don't
Well,
think you
you're
can.
wrong. You can prove it. It's been proven to like very recently.
I disagree.
You can't disagree with it's been like literally proven.
What if
with
okay, what
quantum physics?
what if I wanted to
Do you want me to
use
explain the experiment to you?
No, what if I wanted to use my subjective perspective to say that your evidence stating that objectivity doesn't exist isn't real?
This was a mistake.
I agree.
This entire podcast was a mistake.
I actually agree that objectivity doesn't exist.
But you should look into this experiment. It's very interesting. There was this thought experiment that on the quantum level, two observers could observe the same phenomena and have different, both have different correct observations. Because observers in quantum physics aren't just like a theoretical human thing. They're like an actual physical presence. That's something that affects things. And so they actually finally did an experiment to test this thought experiment, and it turns out it's true. Two separate observers can observe the same phenomena and both correctly return different results. Like neither of them are wrong, but both of them see different things from different, despite both observing the same thing, because quantum physics is fucking weird.
Oh,
so
wow.
when you get down to it, the universe is fuzzy.
Man, I wish Digi pulled this out in his debate with Destiny. That would have fixed everything.
Oh no, I don't want to think about the Digi Destiny debate. I don't want to think about this.
That was so fun. I loved that video.
I hated every second of it.
No, it was so fun. Like, it was such an interesting exchange of ideas, even though, like...
No, both of them are so stupid. It's not interesting at all.
Well, I mean, I think Destiny definitely won, but I just thought it was interesting that he argued his points so wrong and still won anyway. Like,
Because Digi's such an idiot. It's so easy.
Yeah, that was what made it sad. But it was...
But Destiny's also an idiot.
But yeah, like... Holy shit, I just got a really long comment on this I Want to Be Nocturnal Again video. Did you watch that video?
I am currently 3 minutes and 5 seconds into it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I thought it was one of the better things that I've made in a while. And it was just fucking random recordings that I took. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I feel like both of our channels are just collectively embodying this kind of this thorn in the side of YouTube, where we're using all of this space to make virtually meaningless content. Like, I don't know. I feel like both of our channels were just talking. Like, oftentimes, at least in my case, I feel like I won't even be expressing ideas. I'll just be talking. I'll just be infinitely talking, and people still listen to it for some reason. Like, the attention span and the brains of people growing up on the internet has been fucked to such a degree that I will be able to just sit there with like 10 other people and watch your entire live stream of you cooking bread or something. It's so weird.
Cooking bread.
Yeah. I mean, you would do that.
That's where our channels differ, because you can just sit there and talk about nothing and people will watch, but no one watches my channel.
And not until I promote it more.
I don't know. I don't know about promotion or channels. But I think the difference is that I do it as an art experiment and you do it because you're gay.
Yeah, because it's the only thing I know how to do.
I don't think that's... But the thing is, you also make good videos. That's a big difference. Like, you can't compare... I mean, you can compare, but our channels are very different. I mean, as much as you keep ripping me off.
Yes.
Actually, like, I would never have made a video like that. I forgot what it's called. The scripted one you did pretty recently, where you were Snow.
Oh yeah, These Four Walls.
Yeah, that was very good, and that's the sort of thing that I would never have made. Like, I'm not very good at that sort of content.
Well, I mean, the reason I was quote unquote good at that sort of content was just because I was really sad when I wrote it, and I just wrote whatever sentences came into my mind as I was sitting there being really sad, and then I felt better after I wrote. That's how the majority of my scripts come to fruition, is I'm either really sad or I'm really happy, and then I start writing. I don't know how to write in any other way.
Um,
Mhm.
you need to. I just noticed a terrible mistake with your channel, which makes it literally unwatchable.
Oh boy.
Your playlist is still called Essential Outlaws Graveyard Shift when it's actually called Infinite Outlaw 2 now.
I can change that right now.
Literally unwatchable. Literally unwatchable.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Anyway, I think your videos are cool. Sometimes they're cool. Sometimes they're just wrong.
Sometimes I don't rip you off.
You can see the exact moment when you found my channel because suddenly all your videos become dark, like as in literally dark.
Like I'm just not filming anything. I'm using the camera to record my voice, but you can't see anything that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh boy. There was a time in which all of my vlogs, I believe it was in 2016, I was making a vlog every single day, almost. And most of them, I didn't use my camera to record them because my camera would have like 1 GB file sizes and stuff, and it would be huge. And because my internet that I was using at the time was on the satellite, what I would do was I would go into Sony Vegas and I would like record on my mic, or I would just edit the camera footage into being audio, and then I would put like one word as text on the screen, and then I would render the video at like barely anything, like 144p, like the lowest you could possibly go in terms of resolution, and it would just have like a black screen and then one word on it, and that's how the majority of my vlogs were produced. Or I would put like one image.
Okay. Quick thing.
Mm-hmm.
I should have gone to the toilet before I started recording this. I'm gonna go to the toilet real quick, and you can just edit out this space in the middle of the podcast.
Yes.
Because tough luck, you're editing this. I don't have to.
Yeah.
Get fucked. But I'll just keep everything running, recording, and there'll just be a big blank space while I go to shit.
Okay, cool.
All right. BRB. Oh God.
With my fellow host, anarchist person. No, thank you.
Anarchist person.
Anarchist thing, object that exists, or rather doesn't exist if we're going the postmodernist direction.
Oh God.
Ooh.
Oh God. I forgot about this. I forgot what I was doing.
Yeah, I forgot what we were doing too. I actually forgot like the majority of the conversation we've been having up to this point.
Well, first I said Bakemonogatari is good, you idiot. And then you were like, no, it's not good. But then you couldn't actually defend yourself, so you decided that you were just memeing the entire time.
Yes, when in doubt, pretend that you were making a joke so you can look smart.
And then we started talking about why our channels are different. And
Oh,
how...
yeah. And so, like, I was talking, and you'll probably see this in my new vlog, is how I kind of see YouTube as the only thing that I have that's like a profession. Like, you look at your career and you're a musician. It can be plastered all over the wall. I can point at you on the street and I can say, that guy is a musician. You know, that's
Please
who
don't do this. Please don't point at me on the street.
Of course not. Wait a minute, this is anarchism. I can do whatever I want. But no, like, so like you can point at No Thank You and you can say that guy's a musician. Well, what do I have? Like, YouTube is the only thing I have where I can say I'm a professional at doing this thing. And so
I thought you wanted to be a general.
Well, yeah. I mean, to survive, yeah. But like, what am I doing at this point that I consider myself a professional in? So YouTube is really the only thing that I can say that. And of course, I'm not making money. When I say professional, I mean it in the sense of this is something that I've dedicated way too much time to. It doesn't mean that I'm necessarily even good at it. It just means that I've dedicated, 4 years of my life and of my thought process to this craft. Like there was a 2 year period, almost 2 years, where I literally planned my entire life around YouTube. I lost a lot of friends because of that. I lost a lot of family members because of that. I made sure to just stay in my room and not speak to anyone and constantly make videos because I did not care. I didn't care about the outside world anymore. I left it all behind. I was working on this one thing. So it feels weird to me not being able to say that I have like a passion or a profession or something that you can point at me and say, this guy is this. So I think YouTuber is really the only thing I have that's like that besides like being a writer. So
being gay.
Yeah, well, obviously.
This guy's a gay.
Yes, unironically. And so
I think that as opposed to being ironically gay.
Yes.
Dude, I'm not gay, but I have ironically sucked a few cocks.
Yes.
Just ironic though. Oh god.
Listen, man, sometimes you're just posted on the Hoppa subreddit and you have to give an excuse. There's like, I thought they were a woman. I didn't I didn't understand, but no, it was a joke. It was I did it because it was a joke. And then they're like, okay, they understand.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that was why Bakemonogatari is really bad.
Yes.
I won.
Attention Hikikomori, make videos on YouTube.
Yes. See, so yeah, like I feel like YouTube is the only thing that I can really say that, this is my thing. And so the response I have to that is, well, what am I going to do about it? Am I just going to keep making vlogs every day and then have that be that, or am I going to try to take it a step further? So what I want to do is I want to watch like every single anime that exists and then talk about all of them and then just have my life revolve around YouTube again, because it used to be like that. Like I used to work tirelessly every single day at trying to become a YouTuber. And so if I just do the same thing again with the current ability I have and with the, thousands of anime that exists, I want to see what that can turn into.
This is a good time for me to shit on your Mao.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh boy, let's get it up. At myanimelist.net/animelist/infinite-outlaw. Here we go. So far, nothing too glaringly terrible.
Wow. Okay.
I haven't seen anything that you've watched, though, because you only watch stupid shit.
Yeah, stupid shit.
Why am I just insulting you so much? What's wrong with me?
It doesn't have big brain dialogue like all boys are physically ill or whatever that was.
What? Where did you even get that from, man? You're just making shit up at this point.
No, you can see it. You can see it in the Bakemonogatari dialogue. Like, it's so big brain, dude, you don't even know. Like, that moment where Shinjo Gahara hits Adaragi-kun with a book, dude, like, that was, like, symbolic and shit. The book she was actually hitting him with was Beyond Good and Evil by Sigmund Freud, dude. You don't even know.
Mate.
Yes.
You gave Maho Sojo Sai a 9. You don't get to have an opinion.
Whoa, no, whoa,
You gave Shelter a 9. You don't get an opinion.
Whoa.
You're not allowed one.
Okay, what if the version of Shelter I watched was a Death Grips AMV, and I was actually just rating that?
It's still shit, because Shelter is terrible.
I disagree.
Why? Like, what could possibly have possessed you to give Oreimo an 8?
Oh, I love that show.
Like, it's fine.
It's fun. The characters are so cute.
Why is it better than Fuli Kuli and Haibane Renmei and Nekojiro So?
Well, I mean, Fooly Cooly, it's too short, and some of the episodes...
That's not a fucking argument.
Well, no.
What are you talking about?
Well, no, some of the episodes did not quite hit the mark for me. Like, there were some really cool parts of the show, but it didn't connect with me on the same level it connected with other people, too.
How many times have you watched it?
Like 3?
Okay, that's acceptable.
Yeah, it's a great show. I gave it a positive score.
I see you've watched 1001 Nights. That's a fun one.
Yeah, it's pretty alright.
Yeah, I watched that recently. I also thought it was pretty alright. I think I'd give it.
Yeah, I watched it like a year ago, something like that.
I don't know why you gave Tamako Market a 5 though, because that shit's fucking sick.
I just thought it was kind of boring. I think I was in a bad mood when I was watching it, to be honest, because I was watching it on
You're
a...
so easily affected by your own emotions. Disgusting, emotional, human core bastard.
Yes, I'm, this is every critique of all of my analysis videos.
Like, why you watched one episode of Ava and you're like, this is a 1. This is a 1 and I'm dropping it immediately.
Like, you don't understand, man. Like, I felt physically sick watching that video, although at the same time I hadn't eaten in like 3 days when I watched it. That's not a joke.
Could this have anything to do? Could these two things possibly be linked?
And I mean, when I watched it, I felt so depressed while watching it. Like, I hated Shinji, and I just wanted to bark at every single scene. Like, I don't know, man. I didn't have the patience for it. I wanted to watch something cute.
Okay, well, this is, you know what? It's fine. I'm done. I'm done arguing with you about Ava. I already convinced you to rewatch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
even
watch
though
it.
You're probably not going to.
No, I am going to. I have to make Ava videos. That's good for the algorithm, right? Is that what they do nowadays? I don't even know.
Are you currently watching? Wait, it says you're currently watching K-On! You hadn't seen K-On! Season 2 until currently.
Wait a minute. Did I never add K-On! As completed?
It says you're 19 episodes into Season 2, and it says you're 1 episode into Hunter x Hunter.
Okay, yeah.
And 1 episode into Blend S.
I need to fix K-On! All those other shows are correct. Because I didn't pay attention.
2 episodes into 2. I thought you dropped Eurocamp.
Eurocamp is okay.
I like Eurocamp quite a bit.
It's not like horrendously bad. It's okay. It's good entertainment. Yeah, I'm gonna set K-On! To complete because I think I just forgot. I forgot to update it.
Can we agree that K-On! Is pretty good?
Oh yeah, K-On! Is one of my favorite anime. It's like a solid 9 out of 10.
I'd probably give it an 8. Actually, that's maybe not. I like it a lot.
I think if I watched Bakemonogatari the right way and I understood it and gave it a positive score, I don't think it would ever touch K-On! Because K-On! Is just so
I
good.
agree. Well, I don't know if it wouldn't touch it. I think K-On!'s better, but Bakemonogatari is still good. But I don't think Bakemonogatari by itself is that good. I put Bakemonogatari on my list to represent the entire Monogatari series as a whole.
Watching K-On! Was like a religious experience for me. Maybe it was like the same thing with you when you were watching Bakemonogatari, like having your list out and studying all the statistics about the characters or whatever. But like...
I didn't go that far.
but like... I don't know.
I just have basic reading comprehension skills. I'm not...
In my mind, basic reading comprehension skills is being a scholar surrounded by books written in like 20 different languages. Like, come on, you gotta understand the perspective that I'm arguing from.
I'm not quite sure I can understand this perspective.
Listen, man, sometimes people watch anime for different reasons. Sometimes they watch anime because they have pretty colors. I'm not going to say which camp I'm part of, but I'm just saying...
I know which camp you're part of.
But no, sometimes people just have a different mindset, and you just got to take a philosophical approach instead of like a who's right or who's wrong scenario,
Yeah, who knows what side Infinite Outlaw comes from? Infinite Outlaw, creator of the video "Themes Don't Matter!" !
Well, like sometimes you just got to take we got to look at our values here, like. Well, how do I feel about this? It may range from time to time. How you feel may range from time to time. You just gotta find a place in the center. There's no need to go like this extreme or that extreme. At that point, they're just the same thing. I win.
You know what? I win. Oh yes, Infinite Outlaw. Creator of Eurocuck Simulator.
Oh dear. That was a good video. Mm.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty good.
I don't even know if I entirely agree with the point that I can't listen to full albums on that anymore because I've been listening to Ex-Military over and over again. And like back when I wrote that script, I couldn't listen to albums at all unless it was like a very specific type of thing. But I've just been listening to like No Love Deep Web and The Money Store and like Steroids and Ex-Military. I've just been listening to all of them over and over again. Although mostly ex-military, but I have been going through like their discography. So it's really weird. It's really weird for my thoughts in that video because I've talked about this like many times how I have trouble getting into music because I can't just listen to a full album. Like when I was like 12 and 13, I would listen to like an entire Burzum album, or I would listen to like an entire Dark Throne album, or Rotting Christ, or Atheist, or someone like this. And I would just lay in bed with the headphones on, and I would like think the album would be like a 6 or a 5 out of 10, but I would just listen to the entire thing there because I didn't have anything else to do. And as I got into the internet more and I got more entertainment, it was harder and harder for me to take that approach of just listening to entire albums. And so like I've mostly stayed relegated to singles and what it is that I consume, but listening to Death Grips, like, I've heard these albums before. I've heard them before and I thought they were good, but they weren't something I would re-listen to with the intent of, you know, trying to take in the full experience. And I don't know if it's that I've gotten older or the chemicals in my brain have changed in some way, but I just keep listening to their albums over and over again, and it feels really satisfying to always have it on and not even necessarily be paying attention. But most of the time I do. That's the thing. So I don't know, man. It's so weird. It's so weird that, like, I've always considered music to be this thing where, you know, you have to try really hard to get into it, that you can't just lay down and do it. But with Death Grips, it's been so much fun that I think my entire stance on music might be changing.
That's good. Welcome to music.
Yes. But like it's so weird though, because I've heard these albums before, but listening to them now makes me feel so significantly different that I feel like the entire medium is just better as a result of them existing. Oh boy.
Oh boy, indeed. oh boy. Oh, hold on. I gotta make this terrible joke. Oh, okay. I give up.
Oh boy, Chan. Here we go.
I was gonna make a It was too much of a stretch. I was gonna try and stretch "oh boy" to sound like "Nobuo Ito," but it didn't work.
Are you just reviewing my videos now?
I was scrolling through them, but I'm now no longer doing such things.
You are now no longer No Thank You. You're actually Infinite Outlaw. Every single video reviewed. That's the name of your YouTube channel.
Infinite Outlaw, every single video reviewed. It's shit.
Yeah, like you apply number scores to all my videos, like you do like a serious vlog of you discussing each one.
Oh no.
I should do that for your channel. I'm gonna write that down. I actually want to do this now as a joke.
I won't allow it. I won't allow such a thing.
You'll copyright strike my video. Oh.
Oh no, I've just seen some terrible things. Oh no.
Oh boy. What was it?
Oh god. I've just seen a bunch of new trend I'm kickstarting. Anime girls holding signs calling weebs out on their bullshit, but it's all ridiculous bullshit. It's not like, you know what? I'm not reading this. It's just stupid.
Wow. I'm disgusted.
I'm disgusted as well with myself for being on this podcast.
I agree, 100%. You know, we may have different ideas about anime. You know, anime. It's one of those things where it's you have to take a philosophical.
Let's leave it up to the audience. Leave it up to the audience.
Yeah.
Leave in a comment who you think won this.
Yeah.
This debate.
This 1,000.
This was not a debate. This was not a debate at all. Who do you think won, Jordan Peterson or Slavoj Žižek?
Yeah, who do you think won, Jordan Peterson or Michael Falcolt?
Yes.
Um,
In this case, you're Jordan Peterson.
oh no! Someone told me in my Discord that I was the Jordan Peterson of YouTube or whatever. That I was the clean your room aficionado, and it was really funny.
You literally are, though. You literally are.
Am I actually the Jordan Peterson of YouTube?
But Jordan Peterson's the Jordan Peterson of YouTube.
Well, you know what I mean. Am I the Jordan Peterson of this circle?
I don't really know. You're not really. You're more like I'm not quite sure what you are.
I'm the Randy
Not quite
Stair of
sure.
YouTube.
The Randy Savage, the Randy Orton.
I said Randy Stair, but Randy Savage is much more positive.
Randy Orton, that's you.
Yes.
Randy Nandy.
Yes. But let's see. I had a point that I was going to make, but I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, basically.
The time for points has long since passed.
I don't know, man. I think if you take this from a philosophical perspective, the entire podcast could be a point.
The point being, subscribe to No Thank You.
Yes. Listen to my favorite album, No Thank You Doesn't Laugh. It's a 10 out of 10.
I'm not sure I'd go that far.
I don't remember it, but
Fine. Whatever. I don't remember it, but it's a 10 out of 10. Bakemonogatari. I don't remember it, but it's definitely a 1.
yeah. All right, I'll go in and I'll change the score. Oh my god, I have my. You're probably gonna love this video that I made. But when I first started out my Mal, I made like an announcement video saying you guys should go like follow me or friend me on Mal or whatever. And one of the things I said in there was that you can also shit on me for giving Monogatari a 4. And like it all ties together because I said that like 2 years ago. And now it's come back to haunt me. Someone really did come.
Now I'm shitting on you.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, you do realize that you have now signed up to do a weekly Monogatari podcast, right?
Yeah. I have to write notes for it too, because it's not like I'm saying I'm gonna do a podcast and then I never do it. Now I have to do it with someone else, so I have to take out the notepad and, actually try.
And you have to actually... The reason you have to take notes is because you will forget what happens in the episodes if you don't.
Yeah. So, yeah, look forward to that on No Thank You's channel, I guess.
But I don't know. Maybe your second channel?
I don't know.
Up to you.
I could just make a redirect video and then more people could subscribe to your music or whatever.
It's up to you. I don't mind.
But yeah.
I don't need any more fans.
Says the person who is going through university with an arts degree.
Oh god, don't remind me. I don't want to remember this fact. I want to forget.
Oh boy. Well, there's not enough Q31 2.3 anime girls on this image board to substantiate the empty feeling in my heart of getting an arts degree.
That was not at all pie. That wasn't it at all.
I don't know math. I failed all my math classes for like 10 years.
I don't know math either, but I do know pi to 21 decimal places.
Wow.
So there you go. And on that bombshell, it's time to end.
Yes, that's in the show. Roll down the curtain. It was secretly the guy who was Wizard of Oz all along was just talking into a megaphone. That one.
Yes. Roll down the curtain, you'll find out Outlaw has been a Markov chain this entire time.
I don't even know what that is. I've been referring to myself as that, and I don't know what that is.
Google it.
Isn't it like a Russian thing? Let me see here.
It's a Russian thing. It's like an algorithm for... You'll see.
A Markov chain is a stochastic model describing a sequence of possible events in which the probability of each event depends only on the state attained in the previous event. I don't know what any of that is.
And this is why you can't enter Bakemonogatari.
Is it?
No, I don't know why even. Not at all. Wait. Oh yeah, you're not even in your own Discord server anymore. Never mind.
Nope. Are you still recording, or is the recording over?
I'm still recording. I've been recording this. I'm not missing a sec. This is gold. Gold, I tell you.
Yeah, this is what all of them are patroning for, like my millions of subscribers who are definitely patroning at patreon.com/nothankyou, where you can subscribe for more rant topics.
This is the wrong Patreon.
Wait, what?
You said my Patreon instead of yours.
Oh. Well,
how dare you?
At Patreon. Whatever. At patreon.com/nothankyou. Definitely the place you should go to pay for more of
how
these
dare you?
Infinite Outlaw podcasts. This is terrible.
This is amazing.
I agree.
In the worst possible way. Is it time to end the podcast for real? Yeah.
Yes, I'm clapping. There we go.
Okay. It's over.